Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pre-Match Drills. On the show this week, we catch up with Dan Udoh ahead of him taking on his former club. Chris from Salopscast gives us the lowdown on this weekend's opponents. But first, let's catch up with the gaffer. Gaffer, or should I say, manager of the month for November and October.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really proud. I'm repeating what I said last month, but I genuinely believe it's true. It's about what the players are doing on the pitch. It's about the group of staff working so hard behind the scenes, the backroom staff, the amount of work that the guys put in, and the players. It's up to them to go and put it on the pitch. And luckily for us, fortunately for us, they've gone and done it. So we're really, really proud.
There's normally a curse, isn't there, manager of the month? You win it and then the manager then tends to lose the next game, but you've just gone and continued to win them all. Yeah,
it was nice not to have that last month. We need to try and make sure we guard against it on Saturday. It's obviously going to be a really tough game for us, but it's been lovely. We've spoken last season about the amount of work that went into it, and we were kind of moving and evolving, and it's been nice after a tough first couple of games of this season to have some nice results. But the only way that keeps continuing in any shape or form is for us to stay hungry, stay on the front foot with it, and make sure we keep trying to improve at all times.
It's a long season and it can feel relentless at times, game after game, especially when the winter hits. Are these little good shots in the arm for you and your staff, these awards?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is because it is really, the schedule's been relentless. We've had obviously the cup games on top of the league schedule. So it's about just trying to make sure you're consistent with what you're doing, but equally try and keep a freshness to it all, because you don't want to get the monotony of those winter months coming in, which we all know can happen if you're not careful. So it's just about trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep the enjoyment in the building, and trying to keep results coming if we can. And
you've mentioned it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a strange game because Gareth Ainsworth, so long in the dugout of Wycombe Wanderers for the first time, coming up against Wycombe Wanderers. It was going to happen one day, and this is the day.
Yeah, it's going to be strange for everyone involved with Wycombe coming up against the gaffer, and it's going to be strange for him, I'm sure. But I think when you've been in this game as long as he has and as long as I have, you understand that these moments come up from time to time, and you negotiate them the best you can. And equally, all I know is that he'll be up for getting his team to get 3 points, and we'll be up for trying to make sure we get 3 points. So that's the one thing that never changes, is that when you're in a dressing room, you want that dressing room to win, and I know it won't be any different on Saturday afternoon.
We saw what Gareth Ainsworth could do with Shrewsbury Town against Birmingham City. Did us a big favour that day, and it's top versus bottom, and I guess this is the sort of challenge that has him licking his lips.
Yeah, absolutely. The gaffer loves the underdog story. He loves being, painting that picture and inspiring his group to better things. We know he's done that for so many years, and it was an absolute pleasure playing for the gaffer. It was I learned so much off him, and my respect will never diminish in terms of what he did here. But yeah, he'll have his boys ready for it. I have absolutely no doubt about that, and we'll also be ready for it because we're looking forward to it.
And a couple of draws now in the league. The Reading game, a tough game, a windy game as well. Hopefully the conditions are a little bit more pleasant on Saturday.
Yeah, and we've spoken about this a number of times. The way we look at the game has to be taken, the emotion has to be taken out of it. And in my mind, the way we played, especially second half against Reading, especially second half against Exeter, we need to make them 90-minute performances, not 45. But we played some real nice stuff. We played some really good stuff, created some really good opportunities. And we haven't won the last two games, but we've maybe played some better stuff in those two games than we have in one of the two previously. I think it's really important for us to keep going after the things we're going after. Try and stay calm with it all. Not get too high or too low when you're either winning or not. But there's been some good stuff. There's been some things to tidy up. We need to tighten up at the back. During those wins in November, we were getting clean sheets and looking, threatening on the attack as well. So we need to make sure we keep the balance in our play.
Do you feel there's a real scrutiny as well? I guess all teams are watching everyone else in the league as well, but the longer the season goes on, no matter where you are in the table, the analysts, the managers, they can see the patterns that are evolving.
Of course, because there's so many analysts involved in the game. There's so much scrutiny on everyone involved in football, and that's a good thing. So I think the game's improved and evolved as a response to that. So I think it's a good thing. But ultimately, you have to keep looking for ways to improve because everyone's watching what you're doing. When you have some good results, like we have been fortunate to have, people are watching you even more. So we need to make sure, like I say, we keep it fresh. Stick to what we're doing, but keep a freshness about us and keep enjoying what we're doing, because if we do that, then we have a chance of keeping the results coming.
And you mentioned the other day as well, players returning as we go into that very busy Christmas period of games It's not too bad this year, the Christmas schedule. It could have been worse, but a lot of football still to come in the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And heading into early January, we've obviously got the FA Cup games been brought forward. We've got the Huddersfield game been put in as well. So we have got a busy schedule. We've been out without some players as well. Of course we have. We know that there's been some players missing that we hope to welcome back soon. So it's just about enjoying it, relishing it, and making sure you make the most of these times, because football, the seasons come and go if you're not careful. And when you're in a moment like this, we have to make sure we relish it and keep being hungry to try and keep improving on what we're doing, because there's always improvements to make, whether you're winning, losing, or there's always bits that are going to be good, bits that are not so good, and we have to keep going after those.
Well, good luck Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from the gaffer. Dan Udoh spent 5 years at Shrewsbury Town, so we thought we'd speak to him ahead of the game in Shropshire. Dan, Shrewsbury Town, a club you know very well indeed.
Yeah, a club I've been really grateful to play for so many years, and a club full of good people, and it's going to be obviously a good battle for us, obviously with the old gaffer from Wycombe that was hit for so many years as well in their dugout. So it's going to be different for him, different for me, but at the end of the day, we're, like I always say, we're professional footballers. We've got a job to do and have to go do the business.
Is that the psychological approach? It's just another game and then you worry about it afterwards?
100%. It's just another game. Obviously, it would be nice to see a few old faces after the game, but before the game, I wouldn't be talking to many people as I would like with the boys and stuff, just so I make sure I'm there to focus and do my business.
Sometimes when players go back, it isn't always a lot of love involved, but I've been speaking to Shrewsbury Town fans this week.
Yeah.
They really love you, Dan.
Yeah, I love them too, and I made sure it was vocal when I was there, and I'm just lucky that I've been lucky to play for clubs that have got really good fans. Likewise here at Wycombe, and it's a family. Wycombe's a family, proper club, and Shrewsbury was the same. And obviously, I don't want them to be in the position that they're in, but I have to focus on what Wycombe are doing at the end of the day, and we're doing really well, so I'm enjoying that. You're
talking about the family side here. I was chatting to you earlier. It feels like you've been here a long time, and I mean that in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been really I spoke about this as many times as I've got the chance to. The people around the club, whether it be the foundation, the manager, the director, the players, most importantly, have made me feel so welcome that genuinely, it's been since July I've been here, but it feels I've been here for 2 years, and which is obviously a good thing for me.
And it's been a fantastic run the club have been on as well since you walked through the doors.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's down to me. It's been or the new signings. Obviously, the work prior to the recruitment coming in and stuff has already been good, and we're trying to finish the year. If you see the stats the manager and the staff showed to us from the start of this year to where we are now, how many wins and the results, and it shows what they've got cooking is really working. So I'm happy to be part of it.
Now, as a team, you can't win anything in December, but Matt Bloomfield has won Manager of the Month again.
Yeah,
that's two months in a row. And as a group of players, do you take some reflective pride in that too?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we said congrats to the gaffer for back-to-back. It's a good feat to have, and it's obviously good for us, the boys, because we're doing what we're told to do, and we're going out there and we're performing and we're winning matches. And if we, the players, aren't getting recognition, which we are, and Rich winning his the other day, I'm sure I saw Dan, Fred and Joe all nominated as well. So it's good to be part of that bandwagon and be with the boys, and we're all a collective and we all want each other to do well. And like you said, we don't win anything in December, but if we can keep pushing and setting high standards for each other, I'm sure we'll be okay.
And you seem to still be absolutely loving life on and off the pitch here at Wycombe as well, the vibe around the place as well. And I don't think that's just because of the form and the wins. I just think it's been, as you said, a very supportive environment.
Yeah, and every day, everyone loves coming in, and that's, in football, it's quite a hard thing to do because you go through so many different times of dips in form when you're in form, and you're scoring some goals, you're not scoring some goals, but you still enjoy coming in, and it's really important. And your teammates and the staff that you work with and the people like yourselves and Luke and the rest of the boys and Cess being around the building and seeing happy faces makes it a lot easier to work.
Well, there we are. Hopefully see some happy faces on the pitch this Saturday.
And that's the aim of the weekend.
Well, have a great game and we'll hopefully speak to you afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right then, Wycombe Wanderers back in League One action this Saturday. We're travelling up to Shropshire to see some old friends, Gareth Ainsworth and Richard Dobson, in charge now at Shrewsbury. And to find out more, we have Chris from Salopscast joining us once more. Chris, how are you?
Not so bad, thank you. Better than my team anyway, Phil.
Yeah, I suppose, we better start with bottom of the table. Where's it gone wrong, or is it a several things in a long list?
I was going to say, how long have you got for this? And how interested are your supporters in where we've gone wrong? But we've gone wrong. It's been going wrong for some time. Basically, it's gone wrong in that we can't financially compete in League One anymore. That's where it's gone wrong. And we're signing players who probably aren't, well, certainly aren't established League One players. And we've been signing players that the previous manager hoped he could turn into a League One footballers, and that's not happened. What we've got is a League Two team playing in League One right now.
And you have a new manager in Gareth Ainsworth and his assistant Richard Dobson. Obviously, people we know very, very well here at Wycombe Wanderers and the fans have a great deal of affection for. He started off in true Gareth Ainsworth style, but since then it's been a couple more defeats.
He certainly came in, he talks the talk, and then, as you say, in that first game, he walks the walk as well. So, yeah, it was a fantastic introduction. He came in and said that we might experience a bit of pain at the start, but equally, he believed that we could beat Birmingham City, and that's exactly what we went out and did. And, you hear about the cliches about new manager bounce in football, and we certainly saw it that day because our team found a level that we've not seen all season before, or sadly since, to be honest. So, yeah, he came in and it was fantastic. That Birmingham game will live with me for a long time. And if we did go on to stay on, it would probably stay up. It would probably be in there as one of my favourite games as a Shrewsbury fan. If it all goes wrong and we end up going down anyway, then maybe that diminishes the power of that victory, as it were. But it was a fantastic day and a fantastic introduction for him.
And since then, shipping goals, obviously, it's not rocket science, is it, football? If you bottom the league, you let a lot of goals in. The manner of the defeat at Cambridge was quite alarming from a defensive point of view for you, and I think also for Gareth.
Yeah, we've shipped goals all season, Phil. So we've got a terrible defence, certainly at this level anyway. They're making basic mistakes. We've got some experienced players, one or two maybe at the tail end of their careers, and I'm not convinced they're League One standard anymore, and they're making mistakes they shouldn't make. We're not scoring goals, and we're not that great in the middle of the park either. So all in all, you add all that up, and we've got a few problems. And like you say, the two games since Birmingham, we came up against Blackpool, and for 15 minutes we were roasting them alive. We scored with a free goal. I don't know if any of you've seen this free kick from our own half, blowing a gale that day, and Mal Benning scores from 65 yards. You don't see that every day. But off the back of it, we should have had two or three more, to be honest. And after a quarter of an hour, we should have been out of sight. We weren't, and you could almost physically see the confidence draining from the players. And ever since then, it's gone wrong. Obviously, we shipped 2 goals that night and lost, and then went to Cambridge and got battered. So, yeah, Gareth Ainsworth has one hell of a task on his hands because, you guys know he's got a reputation and he's a confident guy and he lifts his players, but, he's not Jesus Christ. He can't turn water into wine, and he can't turn our team into suddenly a team of League One world beaters, I would suggest.
Well, the window is around the corner. Obviously, there's lots of football to be played in the season, but you guys will be worried, just 11 points at this stage of the season. But the January transfer window is coming. There's rumours as well of investment off the pitch or change of ownership. Could there be a big change coming in January?
He's dropped hints that he wants to do business in January, and obviously we need to do something to turn our season around. But that investment you talked about, there's strong rumours at this end that there is a change coming. I mean, we're currently in exclusivity with a potential new owner. We don't know who that new owner is. Lots of noise, lots of rumours that it could be an American owner, that there could be some funds involved in it. If that happened quickly and we had genuine money to spend in January, then who knows? Maybe we've got a chance. But you look at what happens at other clubs, takeovers don't happen quickly, do they? This is complicated business. We're talking, multi-million-pound deals, and they don't just happen like that. So I fear that even if it does happen, it might happen too late to save this season. but it might, if we're lucky, if we do go down, it might give us a chance to come back, as it were. And I could almost live with that. I could live with being a League Two team again if you felt that the prognosis for the future was a positive one.
That was going to be my next question, because Gareth Ainsworth at Wycombe Wanderers from the very brink of League Two into non-league into the Championship. So a step backwards to maybe go 2 or 3 steps forwards would be very welcome, I guess.
Yeah, Gareth was very clear that he doesn't want to be a League Two manager. He said he's served his dues at that level with you guys, obviously, and he feels that he's proven he's worthy of managing in League One and higher. And that's what he wants to do with Shrewsbury. He has to say that, doesn't he? He's not going to come in and go, okay, everyone, we're doomed, we're going down. He has to talk the talk, and he has to offer some hope and encouragement. But equally, I don't think Shrewsbury Town get Gareth Ainsworth as manager, especially in the position we're in right now, unless he's been given some kind of guarantees about what's coming. And he's talked a lot about exciting plans for this club, exciting future. It's certainly got us as supporters excited, if you see what I mean. So we're hoping that, if maybe it's not this season, but we're hoping that there are, blue skies and sunshine ahead for us.
So we've talked about the managerial links. Wycombe Wanderers have Luke Leahy and Dan Udoh in the squad as well, and 2 players that you were, that you cherished when they were playing for your club, and now they wear the quarters. That must hurt as well, because you said about the quality, lack of quality at Shrewsbury. It must hurt when you see your former players playing and doing well in League One.
Yeah, thanks for depressing me. Yeah, I appreciate that. You've taken some of our better players in recent years. Yes, that is fair to say. And in Dan Udoh, you've taken a bit of a cult hero of ours. He was with us for 5 years. I think if you stopped any Shrewsbury fan and asked them to name their 3 favourite players of the last decade, Dan Udoh is one of the names that would come up time and time again. He's an absolute hero at our place. He's loved, and I get the feeling he loved our club as well. It took a long time for that deal to happen in the summer. And I think part of that was that it wasn't easy for him to leave Shrewsbury, which, we understand. Well, I think most reasonable fans would understand why he's made the move. He's 27, 28 years old now, and he deserves a chance to push. He's good enough to play at the top end of League One. I believe he's good enough to play in the Championship as well. And, the way you guys are going, he might get the chance to prove that with you. That'd be fantastic. But, we were sad to see him go, but no bitterness from me. The guy's given us 5 years of football, and he deserves his chance. And let's face it, if he'd stayed at Shrewsbury right now, he'd be involved in yet another League One relegation battle. So, I'm pleased for him, but disappointed for us.
Right, on to Saturday then. So Wycombe Wanderers fans will look at the ingredients going into this fixture and fear the worst, because they'd have seen Gareth Ainsworth go, he will talk it up as a David v Goliath, as bottom versus top, and how he believes. We know what he will say. We know that he can motivate, and we know he can get people to run through brick walls. So Wycombe fans will be fearful of that. It sounds like you're kind of... Yeah. Are you sharing those hopes? Do you think that can happen again? Can there be a repeat of the Birmingham game?
I'm a pragmatic kind of fan. I thoroughly expect to get battered on Saturday. I expect to lose 6-0 with a Daniel Udoh hat-trick, 2 for League Leahy, and you'll probably send Jack Grimmer on for the last 5 minutes, and he'll get one as well as our third ex-player in your squad. So the reality for me says that you're clearly heavy favourites. But, we showed against Birmingham, this squad of ours does seem to be able, with the right motivation behind them, to lift themselves. And maybe the Cambridge game was a game where the pressure was on. We almost felt we had to win that game, and as a result, we got battered. Against Birmingham, there was very little pressure. And against you guys right now, I think there's very little pressure as well. So maybe that makes us a bit more dangerous, because the players can go out there knowing that they're not going to get so lambasted for a defeat, as long as they put up a stronger display at least. So why not? We'll try.
Well, always looking forward to coming up to your place. It's always a great day out for us, regardless of the football. And obviously, after Saturday, we wish you all the very best, and we'll see you later on in the season.
Thanks, and good luck to you guys as well. I've got to say, Wycombe Wanderers, we used to give you some stick with Gareth Ainsworth. He's ours now, so it's funny. We're happy to support him now. But I look at those players of ours you've taken. We talked about Udoh, Luke Leahy as well. We love him at Shrewsbury. He was fantastic for us as our captain, and another guy who deserves a chance for success. So if you gave me a choice between, the Birmingham Cities and the Huddersfields of this world, or Wycombe Wanderers getting promoted, I'd choose Wycombe every time. So good luck to you.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Chris. We'll see you Saturday. Take care.
That's it for this week's show. Many thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next time. In the meantime, come on, you Blues.